everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well and staying as safe as possible. I am going to be doing a life update with you today. I have been back in work 2 weeks now, and it is strange to say the least, but it's nice to have a routine again. I'm a receptionist in a solicitor's in my local town. It's a short walk from where I live, so it's really easy to get to, and it's really nice, like I said, just to have that routine instead of kind of waking up and wondering what you're going to do. As much as I enjoyed having the time off and I enjoyed that time, I kind of made the best I could of a really awful situation that was going on, basically. So that's why I haven't updated you guys or done a video in a while, because going back to work after having so much time off, it's really busy, and you're so tired. I know this is going to sound really strange, but because of the fact that I spent sort of 2.5 months not doing very much at all, I just stayed, I watched films, I played games, I did go on a few walks, but nothing really major. And obviously going into Tesco's to get food and stuff, I didn't really go out very much, so kind of walking back and forth to work, even though it's like a 10-minute walk, it's not a huge walk, but considering I haven't done anything for such a long time, it's quite a long, or quite a lot, sorry. And also then just getting back into the swing of work, and it's busy, which is really good, but it just makes you really tired. Like the first day I went back, I think I went to bed at sort of like, I don't know, 9:30, something, I think it was about 9:15 when I got into bed, and then I was just reading until about 9:30, and then I just sort of thought, my God, I'm falling asleep on my nose here, I'm going to go to sleep. So yeah, it is strange, but like I said, it's lovely to have that routine again. During the time I have been back at work for those 2 weeks, I have found that I have hay fever. I didn't know that I had hay fever, and didn't even occur to me, but I was in work and I texted my friend and I said, oh my God, I think I've got a cold coming, my nose is running, my eyes are just really picky and really itchy, and I just feel like, oh, like you do when you've got a cold. So I texted her and she kind of was like, I don't think you've got a cold. And I was like, well, maybe it's like a summer cold, because it was when it was really hot. And she said, I still don't think you've got a cold. So she said, I think you have hay fever. And I was like, no, don't be daft, I don't have hay fever. Like, I would have had hay fever for a long time. It wouldn't just kind of come out of the blue. But since I spoke to my friend, I looked it up on the internet and the symptoms and things like that, and I was like, oh, actually, do you know what, I think I've had hay fever for quite a long time. I've just always thought I've had a cold. So I just started taking like ibuprofen and Beecham's cold and flu tablets to try and combat the early stages of having a cold. But yeah, it turns out it's most likely just been hay fever. Since then I've picked up some tablets, and I've also picked up some eye spray as well, because my eyes are so itchy and picky. It's really bugging me at the moment. I've actually got a full face of foundation on this morning, because my eyes just look like I've spent the last 2 weeks crying, basically. They're so puffy and red. And due to the fact that I'm sniffing because my nose is running, it just sounds like I'm either crying, have been crying, or I just look like I've had a proper meltdown. So yeah, I thought, you know what, I'm going to stick some foundation on this morning. Yeah, I can't really say I've done much else since I've been going back to work, because I've kind of just gone back to work, come home, had tea, chilled out a little bit, and then it's kind of time for bed, really, because I get up quite early, because I like to just make the most of my mornings before I go back to work, really. And it is nice to have that routine back of kind of getting up, having breakfast, and just doing my little morning routine, and then going in the bathroom and sort of getting ready, listening to a podcast, or one of my other favourite things to do whilst I'm getting ready is listen to like a YouTube video or something. Sometimes I can like listen and watch at the same time whilst like getting ready and brushing my teeth, washing my face, you know, all that good stuff that you do in the morning. So yeah, so it has been nice. That aspect of it has been nice. Um, it's also good to see the very few people we have in work as well, because obviously we don't have a full office because it's a very small building, so you know you couldn't have everyone in because obviously you're going to be too close to each other. So we are taking proper precautions. There's hand sanitizer everywhere, etc. So you know, we are very good at that. But it is nice. It has been nice to see people because you do miss the colleagues that you work with as well. So yeah, so it has been nice to see people, and sort of just get back into that normal routine as well. Um, so yeah, I haven't really done very much else. The weather today just does not know what it wants to do. The clouds were just desperate to rain. They really were. It was so dark out there. It's brightening up a little. It's so difficult because I look at one window and then I look at the other, and it's just two completely different. It's like I've got the Bermuda Triangle down the middle of the wall that my computer's behind. But I'm not quite sure what it's going to do. I did have the windows open because it's quite stuffy in my flat, but because I live so close to the main road, you just hear traffic, and it's heavy, heavy traffic. Lots of like lorries turning and stopping, etc. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to close the windows for a bit. It will also help with my hay fever, probably not having the windows open, but I just love, especially when it's raining, I love having the windows open because I love that smell of rain, and especially if it hasn't, and it's about to start raining again now, actually. Yeah, it started. Yeah, it started heavy raining again. But yeah, does anyone else like it when it hasn't rained for a few days and then you open the windows and it rains and you just get that really nice smell? I know I can't kind of explain it, but if you know, you know, if that makes sense. But yeah, I've got the blinds open as much as I can because I don't want to have to put the lights on just to film this video. So I'm sorry if it is a little bit dark. But I just didn't want to have to put the main overhead lights on because it seemed pointless when I have as much daylight as I can get. Due to the fact that it has started raining, it's probably going to get a lot darker, so we shall see. But yeah, I mean, what have you guys been up to as well? Did you start any projects while I did my first and second lockdown update with you? How are you getting on with those projects? Have you kind of given up on them, or are you still going with them? I went on a few walks whilst I was on lockdown, and I'm hoping to try and stick to that routine of going for a walk on the weekends, but the weather at the moment has just been so awful. I think it rained last weekend as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it rained last weekend. It's raining this weekend. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow. If it doesn't rain tomorrow, I might try and risk it, and just go for a bit of a walk, because I would love to film, especially there's a walk I go to and I would really, really like to film it, sort of like do a come on a walk with me type video, because it's really beautiful, and when you reach the kind of the end before you head back, there is the most spectacular view, and I would love, love, love to do that video with you. So fingers crossed that everything goes well and the weather stays nice. If it does, I will try and do it tomorrow, but I don't think so. Even Google turned around and said that it was going to rain tomorrow, so she has been known to be wrong, but I think that yeah, I think it's going to rain again tomorrow by the looks of it. I think it's going to be off and on today for the full day, and I think it's going to be either showers or just full on rain tomorrow. So yeah, it's now getting heavier and heavier and heavier out there. The other thing that I realised the other day is I really want to get back into playing like console games. I have got a PS2, like by here where my thumb is. No, not PS2, my god, a PS3, sorry. So I want to try and get some games for that, because I used to play Xbox games and PS2 games all the time, and then I don't know, I just got out the habit of it, I guess. So I really want to get some games, but I love horror, so I really want to try and get some like horror, scary type games. There's a few that I've seen online, like you get the classics. You've got like Silent Hill, Resident Evil. Oh my god, what's the other one? Is it the Slender Man or Slender Man that came up in a top 10? Oh my god, there are loads, but I can't think of it at the moment. There is another game that I really want to get, but it isn't on PS3. It's only on PS4, and it really annoys me because I really want to get it. It's called Outlast. I think the one for PS4 is the Outlast trilogy, but I would like to get just the original one, but I think the original one is only on Xbox One, and I'm not buying one of those just to get that game. Like, I'm not going to just buy a PS4 just because the Outlast games are on it. I will just wait, and then I might upgrade it in a year or so. But yeah, for those of you who don't know what the Outlast game is about, the original one is, as far as I'm aware, you are a reporter and you have to go into like a mental institute or an insane asylum. I don't want to offend anybody, because I know either one of those words could trigger or upset someone, and I don't want to upset somebody, but that is what the game is about. And then you can basically use the camera, because you've got like a little camcorder. So when you look through the camcorder lens, that's when something could like jump out at you. So it could be like a monster or a patient or something, and you cannot fight back. You literally have to run and hide, and that is the only kind of concept of the game. It sounds, I don't know, when I first read it I was like, oh my god, that doesn't sound that good, but I have seen somebody play it and my god, it looks good. It is really jumpy, it's really, you wouldn't want to play it in the dark if you don't like horror, let's put it that way. I, as you guys know, am a real big horror nut, so I probably would enjoy it. I would probably jump like crazy, but I think I'd still enjoy it as well. But yeah, I just want to try and get some games, because why not, really? I mean, I get, as you guys can see behind me, I've got so many DVDs and box sets, and I've got more box sets down by there. So I want to try and get some games, and I get all my games and my box sets, DVDs, etc. from a place called the Entertainment Exchange. The kind of logo for it is CEX. A little inside joke with close friends and family, I always call it the sex shop, just because I don't know how you pronounce it. I mean, how do you pronounce CEX in a word? It just sounds like sex. So yeah, I don't know. If anyone knows how to pronounce it, please just like leave a comment down below, or make a video saying it, pronouncing it properly, and tag me in it or something. I don't know, because I don't want to offend somebody, because I just don't want to offend someone, but it's such an amazing shop. You can get DVDs, you can get box sets, you can get games for, PlayStation, Wii, DS, PC, I think. Yeah, you can, because it's where I used to get some of the old Sims games from. You can get consoles, you can get, they do things like phones as well, and certain like cameras. They also sell things like Nintendo Switches, some Mac stuff. So I think I've seen a MacBook Air and a iMac. They also have sold the Magic Mice, these, and also the keyboards as well. I think they possibly do CDs as well in like the bigger shops. But I just love it. I think it's amazing. It's basically second hand, but it's so much cheaper. Like, I remember going in there and I bought a whole box set of, I think it was Alias with Jennifer Gardner in it. But I literally bought, I don't know whether it was the whole season, but I bought like seasons 1 to 6 or 1 to 7, and it came to sort of like 12 quid. Now, if you went to HMV or somewhere like that, that would probably cost you, 25, 30 quid, maybe even more, depending on how old the DVDs are, etc. It is absolutely hammering down outside now. It's crazy. It's gone really dark as well, but it's absolutely hammering it down out there. But yeah, I really, really, really want to get back to the Entertainment Exchange and buy some games. I probably will do a little haul and say that, these are the games I've got, because I am really excited to get them. I don't even know if the Entertainment Exchange is even open. I haven't been out. I haven't been out anywhere. The closest place I would probably go to that has an Entertainment Exchange is Yate. I don't know. I don't even know if it's open. I might have to kind of like have a little look-see and find out if it's open, because if it is, I might take a little wander up there if it's not too crowded, and just buy 1 or 2 games, just as something else to do, because it would be fun to play some. I know in my last lockdown video I said that I was obsessed with watching The Only Way is Essex and Little Women LA. Still highly obsessed with watching that. I love Little Women LA. Still really love it as well. Still love watching Towie. I can't remember what season that we're on of Towie. I think Pete Wicks has just turned up on the scene. So I'm not quite sure what season that is. For any kind of Towie lovers, you probably will all know what season that is. I think they're in Marbs. Yeah, they're in Marbs at the moment. Fair dues though, Pete Wicks. I mean, my God, has anyone seen that man's eyes? Whew. Wow, they are blue as blue as blue. It's crazy. He is very different to any of the other guys that are on Towie at the moment. He, because he's like rocking the long hair, he's got all of his tattoos, which are really, really nice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know of him because I know obviously he dated Megan McKenna. I think he's quite good friends with Chloe Sims, only just from past. I kind of dipped into Towie and then kind of lost interest in it. A lot of people when I was in college were obsessed with it, and I have also read Megan McKenna's autobiography. So I know a little bit about Towie, but not a huge amount. But it's nice to kind of see it from the beginning as well, instead of kind of just jumping in halfway through. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Pete gets on. But yeah, the other series that I've been really, 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 really into is called Terrace House. Now, it's a Japanese program. It's on Netflix. There are, I think there's 4 different ones on there. There's Terrace House 2019 to 2020. That's the most recent. You've got Terrace House Opening New Doors. That's the one I'm watching at the minute. You've got Terrace House Boys and Girls in the City. Oh, actually, wait a minute, there must be 5. And I think there's then Terrace House. No, hang on. I don't know. No, I think I'm like wiggling my thumb and I'm adding that to it. But there's another one, and it's called is it Hawaiian State or something like that, where it's in Hawaii or something? I'm not sure, but that's the ones that I know of anyway. I have watched Terrace House 2019 to 2020. I loved that. Although extremely sad ending with Hannah, just devastating that was. I will put it out there and I will just mention it just because obviously I've mentioned Terrace House. There is a lovely, lovely girl on there. Her name is Hannah. She is a professional wrestler, and I think she was 22 years old. She was on the show and she got into a really nasty argument with one of the other people that were living at the house, and she received a huge, huge amount of backlash online, on social media, people just beating her down about it, and she ended up taking her life. I didn't know. I was watching it and I really, really liked her character, and I was chatting away to someone else who had watched it, and he mentioned that something happens. And it was only because I was looking up the Terrace House characters online and things about Terrace House, and it said, Hannah, it says, the year they're born and then the year that someone passes away, and it said 2020, and I thought, my God, that can't be right. That's got to be, wrong, or a typo or something. And then I found out that it was actually correct. So yeah, just to give you the heads up about that, in case anyone wants to watch Terrace House 2019 to 2020. I would still watch it because it is still a phenomenal, phenomenal show. I love it. I think it's really, really good. It's really interesting. As someone who's still trying to learn Japanese, I think it's a really good way of learning it because there are subtitles. I would say that when you are watching it, you will have to dedicate, if you're going to watch one episode or however many episodes you're going to watch, you have to dedicate time in which to watch it, because unless you know Japanese, you can't kind of go make a cup of tea and not see your TV from where you're making a cuppa or whatever, because you will miss out what's going on. So I suggest, if you want to go to the loo, you want to make a cup of tea, you want to do whatever, pause it or stop and then go back, because otherwise you will miss out on so much. The presenters, I just realised I haven't actually explained what Terrace House is all about. So basically, Terrace House is all about 6 people, 3 men and 3 women, who move into a house in Japan, or obviously in Hawaii for the Hawaii one, and they are given the house and they are given cars, and that's it. It's not scripted. What happens to them is all them, if that makes any sense. So I really liked it, and then there are 6 presenters, I think 6 or 7 presenters, who watch how they interact and then they talk about it. I love it, and I think it's great. And I also love the presenters. They are so funny. They are absolutely hysterical, and I've cried tears of absolute joy from watching them. I think it's great. Social media is so good for so many things, like keeping us all connected during this pandemic, but there is also the really evil, dark, twisted, soul-destroying side of social media. Whenever anybody puts themselves out on social media, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Twitter, whether it's going on a TV show, whether it's making a YouTube channel, you are risking getting trolled or getting nasty comments, getting people who don't like what you say, or they want to give their opinion, and you risk it with everything that you post. Whether you post a picture on Instagram, someone is going to have an opinion on what you're wearing, what you're doing, just down to the tiniest little insignificant detail. But that is sadly the risk that we all take when we post to social media. It's not a nice environment. I wish that it could change, because there is more to life than just dragging somebody down because of what you see in a photo. But like I said, that is the risk that we all take every single day. We're all on social media. Everyone's on social media. Even the royals have, their social media going, and we all risk it. I in the past, when I was trying to lose weight, and I posted a lot of things on, I think it was on Instagram and on Facebook, and I had people leave messages for me. I think one person, I think it was around Christmas, I think it was a video I posted, and I think it was like assessing the damage of Christmas or something like that. Because you do at Christmas, you let yourself go. You enjoy all, like, you know, the food that is provided around Christmas. It's spending time with your family. You're not just going to sit there and be like, oh, you know, I'll only have one bit of dessert because, oh, you know, you don't. You just think, oh, to hell with it. It's Christmas. I'm enjoying time with my family, my friends, and I'll get back to it in January. Like, you know, that's it really. So, yeah, I posted that and I had somebody comment on there saying something along the lines of, make sure you don't eat too much at Christmas because you're already really fat already, or you're already too big already, or something along the lines of that. Is the person who left that message and comment had no profile. When you clicked on it, it just came up with a name and nothing else. They had posted no picture, they had no profile photo. So it was obviously just someone who had made a profile in order to turn around and leave comments on people's pages. So I took it with a pinch of salt and I laughed it off. But someone else could have received that exact same message and could have been extremely hurt by it. They could have taken that so badly, and it could have destroyed their life. And, you know, people don't realise that when they leave these nasty comments and things like that, they just don't realise how detrimental it can be to someone. You know, they don't know what someone is going through, and sometimes it takes an awful lot of courage for somebody to post a certain photo to their social media. You know, they may post it as a way of trying to motivate somebody else, but then they get nasty comments left on it, and they kind of think, oh, well, why do I bother? Or, oh, you know, I'll take it down or something, when really it's a moment that they could potentially be very proud of. But yeah, I'm sorry I'm kind of going off on a tangent there about that, but I do feel really strongly about people who leave nasty comments on people's pages and stuff like that. I just think it's wrong, and I think it's unfair, and I just think, you know what, at the end of the day, if you can't say something nice, just don't bother saying anything at all. Just leave it. You know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it off there, because otherwise I will end up chatting for an awful lot more about my feelings regarding it, so I will let it drop. I do hope that, you know, if somebody does decide to watch Terrace House, I do hope that you enjoy this series. They are so good, and I follow quite a lot of the people who are on Terrace House on Instagram. It's just interesting to see what their lives are like after Terrace House as well, because obviously a lot of them post photos on there of their time at Terrace House and with other contestants, and, well, not contestants, but other people that are in the house. I just think it's great, and I have been engrossed in it. I think I sat down for the last week I had off before I went back to work. I just sat and solidly watched Terrace House. I just was like, no, I have to finish watching this before I go back to work, because I was so invested in it, and I wanted to find out what happened and who got with who, and just so much stuff. So yeah, I got very, very, very invested in that. And also, while watching the TV show, I also learned a few Japanese words as well, that you notice that they say certain words an awful lot, so you pick up on it. So yeah, I've got a little list of words that I've learnt from watching Terrace House. So yeah, I'm going to continue to watch it, and I hope that they do bring out another season to follow up from 2019 to 2020, but also they were going to try and run and cancel it anyway, because of the fact that the coronavirus hit and social distancing, etc. But obviously, sadly, everything happened with Hannah, which was, like I said, extremely, extremely sad, and it could have been avoided. I'm going to leave it there, because this video is already going on to about half an hour, and I don't want to drag it on any longer. But I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope that you are, you know, if you're still on lockdown, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're, you know, still staying as sane as humanly possible, and, you know, getting stuck in with some good projects and some good, things to keep you going whilst you're on lockdown, basically. But yeah, take care, stay safe, and I will just see you guys all in my next video. Alright, see you soon. Bye.